my departure from See the Thing Is podcast, as well as the Joe Budden Network. I sat with this for 3 months, anxiously debating with myself whether I feel comfortable enough to express my reasoning for my departure. I have to read this because it's emotionally. I've even had to have a conversation with my daughter on why it's important for you to speak up when somebody crosses a boundary with you. Everything that transpired in that episode happened while we were recording. Some of it was edited out. Some of it did stay in there. And I'm going to reiterate the timestamps of how everything transpired. I'm gonna go ahead and start from 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Joe calls me out by saying, I've never reached out to him privately or personally. This information is important to this entire scenario because it proves my lack of familiarity with this person. And that is what makes everything that transpired after that so uncomfortable.
But Olivia has never reached out to me privately or personally or just us two to ever speak about anything. See, for me, I don't care, sorry. Mandy, we talk a lot.
Too much.
We talk a lot. So what do you want me to do? But, you're unique because we probably should speak more because we had the least dialogue.
Right.
So I don't know. I never know. I don't know your triggers. I don't know what makes you feel. I don't know what makes you not feel.
And I like that.
By default,
I like people not knowing.
By default, I'm made of like
mechanism.
stone.
It is a defense
Yeah,
mechanism.
but we have
But
At 14 minutes, 34 seconds, there's an edit in the recording because Joe says him and I should speak more because, quote, he's been wanting to fuck me since we've met. Everyone in the studio, including production staff, laughed uncomfortably while one of my co-hosts confirmed that to be true. I am mortified by this revelation, not only because it's revealed while we are amongst the presence of all of the production staff, but it's also being done while we are also recording audio as well as visual. That scene was cut out and it jumps to Joe repeating we should speak more because we have the least dialogue. At 19 minutes and 26 seconds, another edit happens because Joe makes another suggestion to having sex with me. This is shown, Joseph makes another suggestion to have sex with me. That scene is edited out, and what is shown in right after that is me closing my eyes, saying no, and then he says, never mind. At 21 minutes, 30 seconds, Joe tells me to hit a button, bitch, because I didn't hit a sound effect fast enough. At 24 minutes and 54 seconds, Joe makes a comment that I am throwing my singleness in his face, and he thought we were going to be a network power couple. Once again, I'm trying to laugh all of this off. As it's transpiring, I reply by saying,
Yo, but why don't y'all take a minute to just talk about how great the Girl, I Guess trailer was.
I hear you. It was good.
What? Come on.
Yes. Clap it up. Yes.
Come on. They hit a button, bitch. Go ahead.
Call me a bitch.
No.
What the fuck, motherfucker?
Yo.
You can't do that. You have a dick. You can't
Joe.
say bitch,
I
Joe.
hate Joe.
Yo, I hate it here.
To be honest, What you posted? What you
hate it
posted
here.
today?
It's because he can't
What you
tell. He
posted
can't
this
tell whether
morning?
it's a joke or not.
Joe,
That's
but you
why.
can't call a woman a bitch. Only we can call each other bitches. That is the rules. Like even Steph, you know that.
Savon is like, nope. I love the building the house analogy. I think that's a phenomenal analogy.
Love is a house. You got the key.
Focus.
But,
Never mind.
No, I love the house building analogy, but you can't if you're gonna drive by the house every single day and the construction workers are working and then it starts to snow and there's no roof.
Fast enough. At 24 minutes and 54 seconds, Joe makes a comment that I am throwing my singleness in his face, and he thought we were going to be a network power couple. And once again, I'm trying to laugh all of this off. As it's transpiring, I reply by saying, sorry, Joe, we're not.
Mia, now what'd you say?
This is probably why
Give it
I'm
to me.
single as fuck. Cause
No.
I
Now she's
don't
just gonna
feel
throw
like
a singleness in my face. Wow, it's crazy. I thought we was about to be a network power couple.
no, we're not. Sorry,
No.
sorry,
Oh,
Joseph, we're not.
damn it.
But this is why probably why I'm single. I feel like I shouldn't have
Michael
to tell
being
you.
Lori.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that part.
At 25 minutes and 42 seconds, I make a comment about relationships in general within the conversation. Joe retorts that my shirt that I was wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. Excuse me, I have to repeat that. My shirt that I'm wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. I pause, cover my chest with my hand, and try to brush it off once again and continue the conversation.
That shirt ain't buttoned like she said.
Liv is Angela from Boomerang, for the record.
I shouldn't have to tell you what to care about, what not to care about. I shouldn't have these conversations with you. If
You should just consider.
You should just know. And if you don't know, this is when I leave. This is probably why I'm single.
Tender love.
Tender love.
Yo, this is even a courtesy with me being here. Since last time I was here, I caught COVID.
Here he goes.
At 31 minutes, 42 seconds to about 35 minutes and change, Joe makes me feel like I'm in a hostile work environment by letting my co-host know that I am carrying the group because they don't dress sexy enough. Because now not only am I embarrassed for myself in being objectified, but also you're making other women that I have to work with on a regular basis uncomfortable by telling them they don't dress sexy enough. Like I said, this transpired while recording, in front of cameras, and in front of the entire production staff. So with that, I'm sorry. I pretty much react by looking away and looking down in discomfort several times because he has also said this in the past, and it actually created a passive aggressive and competitive environment with myself and my former co-host, where she admittedly attempted to shut down every idea I brought to the table because it wasn't well received by Joe and Ian, his business partner. That same former castmate often relayed group chat conversations back to Joe, which I personally felt was done because she wanted to secure her spot as his favorite because he's made it clear to the entire group that he favorites me.
Olivia carries us through you guys'
here we
auntie
go.
moments.
This
Really?
isn't.
First of all,
One day y'all will want somebody else to
what we
fuck
not
y'all.
gonna do.
I gave titties
It's
last
called,
week.
what we not gonna do is
Look,
called Joe Fresh
look,
Goods auntie attire because Joe Fresh Goods, the black owned.
For a little while now, so we got a fresh,
Bro, I can't
energy.
stand him. I
We got
can't
a really fresh energy
I can't stand
with
him.
Olivia.
She's been a DJ for a decade.
So
All
that's,
right.
So that's hate.
No.
I called her fresh. You called her vintage. That's hate. You know what? I'm gonna get out of here, man.
My God.
Joe Budden podcast every
Sorry,
Wednesday and
Brokey.
Saturday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, I do want to thank you.
At 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds in the timestamp, Joe asks if he can give me an on-air hug. My co-host said yes, they insist, and I slowly get up to hug him. Still apprehensive, I give him a hug somewhat of a distance to kind of hug, no pelvis there. It's unbeknownst to me until I actually watch back the episode that he was moving his hips while he was hugging me.
While y'all are talking, can I go get an on-air hug from Olivia?
Yes.
Y'all need to talk more. Come on, network
this.
vibes.
Look at this family. Look at this family affair.
I love it.
I love the choice of music on the way out too.
Seriously, he tells me every week, y'all all right, but Liv, that's the one.
All right.
It ain't just
all
me,
right.
that's the fans too.
The fans too. No, for sure. We read the comments every week.
Out because at 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 38 seconds, after I sit down after the on-air hug, I grab the microphone and I say, "This is uncomfortable."
Yeah, that's the fans too.
The fans too. No, for sure. We read the comments every week.
Well, we love you
We
guys.
do. But
So
we
much.
read. We love
is
y'all. We love to
uncomfortable.
hate y'all. I do want to say, I don't think I gave enough shout outs this week.
Also, after my departure, Joe then went on his podcast and made this statement. Excuse me, hold on one second. Joe made this statement on his podcast.
Enough of this Karen looking like a baddie. Shit.
HR, Joe, HR.
I need to be like Ross. See, if Ross, would you ever hire any women? Nah, I'm gonna fuck the bitches.
The funniest part ever.
Shout out to Ross.
Is that it?
No, he said it.
I'm about to say, that was like almost a direct quote.
He said that shit.
Yo, it's Big Ant, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Had to come tap in with this situation, man. Olivia Dope that spoke out and broke the internet. If you are a fan of the Joe Budden podcast, the Joe Budden podcast network, you've been tapped into what's been going on with the split up, the breakup. But now this is just some more excruciating news to come out with this situation. Now, we saw the video. Y'all heard what she said. Now, I chopped some of the video down. It's actually longer than that. If you want to go see it, it's all over the place online. But to give my perspective on it, for my supporters, you know, I've been getting hit up all morning, DMs, text messages, people going in the YouTube comments saying, "Ant, we need to hear your perspective." And like I said, I've been a fan of the Joe Budden podcast, still tapped into it. I personally don't feel like Joe Budden goes around preying on picking on women and trying to force women to have sex with him. I don't feel like Joe Budden's the type to take something from a woman from what he's shown on, from what I've seen in display. I will never throw that jacket on a man. But in the terms that she's speaking of, sexual harassment in a hostile work environment, that was displayed on this video. Now look, I'm a nigga that believe in innocent until proven guilty. There are clips where it is edited out. I put those on there where I put the Joe Budden podcast edit where you can see the video crops. Now there are edits in my video that I put in there to go to the next screen change, but when I put JBP edit, that means they cut the thing right there. And those are the times that she gave where Joe Budden was saying, "Hey, I want to fuck you. We need to get to know each other better." I'll be honest with you, in a workplace environment, you can't say those things to a woman. And I do understand. I'm not going to play naive and dumb like I don't know what Joe Budden was trying to do. He was trying to go viral. He was trying to turn that podcast up. He was trying to get it hyped. He was trying to get the views up. Sex sales and conversation. Women and guys talking sex on a podcast. That's a recipe to get money. But if you don't have that type of relationship with the host or with somebody that works for you. Like she's saying, she's looking at this as she's an employee. Joe Budden is her boss. So in any job you get, any work environment, the boss cannot talk like that to his employee, to a coworker. You will get the fuck out of here. They get niggas out of here for less in the work environment, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. You can't even whistle at a lady in the work environment. This is a very bad look for Joe Budden. Now, like I said, bro, I don't know Joe Budden personally. I'm not throwing no rapist jacket on dog back. I'm not saying he go after women and try to manipulate them into having sex with him through his job or his platform or his work. He could have been doing it just to go viral, but he did come off as very fucking insensitive and disrespecting that woman's space and who she is as a woman. Now, this happened back in January. You could go look at the episode. I think it was 16. That's which one it was on there. I'll put it up for y'all to go look at, where she's speaking on this, and it's there. The edits are there. What she said was going on was there. And what made it look even worse was when Joe Budden actually started humping the air towards her after, she said they spoke off air. So I don't know what would prompt Joe Budden to go back and do that shit. And that's his terms. If you're a fan of the Joe Budden podcast like me, that was nasty. Another big mistake I think Joe made was, why would you go on your podcast, as she said, and speak on these terms? And Rory tried to laugh it off and give him some game, like HR, Joe, HR, meaning human resources. You've already had a complaint. Why would you go on there and speak on something that Rick Ross said or make any terms or jokes towards that? It makes you seem insensitive and like you just an all-around motherfucking asshole. Joe Budden, bro, you are all the way fucking up your bag right now. You putting up bad motherfucking display. And like I said plenty of times, bro, this is not for me to tear a black man down. This is not for me to try to fuck over the Joe Budden podcast. I'm a motherfucking fan. The proof is in the pudding on my platform. I have made videos congratulating all of the success that Joe Budden have had. I've made videos defending Joe and how I was supportive of this, how this motherfucking platform inspired me in a way to get out here and try to do my own podcast and become a personality. You know what I'm saying? And I have several videos on the channel of that, and that's why people come to me and ask me to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I could just screen record and copy what she said and drop a 1-minute talk segment after after she get done talking. I don't really have to get on there and talk just to get the views to the channel, but that ain't the type of content I do. I do content while I speak. I put my opinion on it. This is why I call myself a media personality and not just no motherfucking blogger. I got a podcast too. So I do understand, bro, and I work with women too. I want to speak from experience. I've interviewed a lot of women. I reach out to women. Now, would I have sex with an attractive woman? You goddamn right, nigga. I'm straight as a motherfucking arrow, nigga. Made by the best of the motherfucking Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? I'm strictly catty. I want to fuck a bad bitch. But I do know, hey, I'm not mixing that with this urban politician's business. I'm not mixing that with the platform. When I interview women and deal with women, if we have not discussed off of camera and agreed to we're going to talk about these sexual things, then I'm not going to do that. She made it very clear. She put that in the video. She didn't have that type of relationship with Joe. She's never wanted to have it for him. She never wanted to deal with him like that. And they wasn't that cool. But like I said, I don't feel like Joe was trying to motherfucking push, rape her or make her feel uncomfortable on purpose. He figured, hey, I'm selling the show. Now, is this show talking about sex prior? I'm not really all the way tapped in with their podcast, but I'm pretty sure it is. Just like Angela Yee Lip Service. That is a sexual show. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women do that to push the content. And that's what women talk about. That's what other women want to hear. You got to give them that content. But as a man and being the boss, you got to know the guidelines. Just because the other two hosts are cool with that and they deal with you in that manner, that doesn't mean that she feels the same way. The girl looked uncomfortable on camera. She looked very uncomfortable. This is a bad time for this to come out with Joe. We see the situations with Rory and Mal. I don't know if Joe has spoken out yet. Joe has done too much talking online. She went to the proper protocol. She didn't wait a year. She didn't wait 2 years. She didn't wait and go for a lawsuit. She went direct. She quit and went directly to her lawyer. That means that she was seriously offended. She had her lawyer contact Joe people. She did the proper motherfucking standard procedure of being offended in the workplace. It is what it is, bro. We do know a lot of women do play the victim role nowadays. We know women come up with fake stories, but hey, she handled it correctly, and it seems like the proof is in the pudding. I don't know if they have that unedited footage. I'm pretty sure they do, but Joe, you're going to have to make this right. I would not get on the internet to try to make this right. I would not get on the internet to defend this. You got to make this right behind the scenes and then come through with a statement. If you was trying to sell the show, say that, but you still fucked up when it comes to a workplace environment. Joe has made it very clear in his mind he is the boss and the owner. You can't handle your workers like that, bro. Especially if y'all don't have that understood, and it is what it is. And then Joe going public on the podcast after that is saying that was crazy in itself, just being all the way honest. Like I say, bro, I don't feel like Joe Budden is a fucking rapist who ties women up or anything like that. Felt like he got too comfortable and he's so focused on coming off a certain way and pushing that content. And I feel like that was a mistake made. And then she was humiliated because you doing this in front of the whole entire staff. A lot of people got to understand with this Joe Budden podcast, this shit is elevated. There's a crew off the camera. This isn't just, we got a rink-a-dink cameraman and, nobody else is here but us. No, Joe and them is running this as a proper business, as that's what they work to get to and what they built this platform up to. So, man, we'll see. I'll keep y'all updated. We going live tonight on this shit, and we got more videos coming, more everything. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, Urban Politicians TV. Stay on your motherfucking pivot. We got more shit coming. Follow me on Instagram, urbanpoliticians_Big Ant. And I'm going to keep the videos coming for y'all. I got to keep the supporters fed on what they want, man. 1,000 for shit show. You know how we rocking, man.